Hey, Tate here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for ADA or CARDANO. I'll cover wave analysis with the Elliott Wave theory and provide multiple scenarios price may take and explain why I prefer one count over another. Let's take a look at the different possibilities. Starting here on daily time frame and taking a look at this structure here first that we've seen before. Now in this one we were talking about this being an ABC into W, then ABC into X, and then another WX and Y into this wave Y, completing this whole correction, and then we can start something new here. Now since then we've had this very sideways correction, and we'll see how it turns out. But if we are going to be looking at a closer look on this very scenario, then I would be labeling this structure as this. Because we had this very three-wave-ish move here, we have to call it an A wave. Again, three-way pullback into W, three ways into X, and then three ways into wave Y. Now this is not very perfect here, but that is pretty much all I can get here if we want to have a three-way move for this B wave here. Now it definitely comes back enough or retraces enough of this A wave for it to be a B wave, so the expectation there would be a C wave. That's why I've got this as a wave 1 here. Now, is it possible for this to be a C wave already here? If we see here, we got the 0.618 already hit. So it is possible that instead of wave 1, we would have this C here. However, again, that would be a bit weird, as this whole structure would be just the start of something, some larger correction, some kind of expanded flat, and then we would be looking for lower prices again. The next structure here definitely feels impulsive to the downside here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's why I've labeled it A, and then we would be looking for some kind of three-way pullback for that wave B and the continuation down C. Now why I don't like this very much is because, again, this C wave generally takes out the A wave lows, and in this case these are very close to the invalidation level, what we got at the 0.4 area. So yeah, it is very much likely that this C wave would take out these, and at that point we can't have the wave 2 there, and we would have to call this C wave here done. But that is, again, just one scenario. Again, not very likely to me. Now, the other scenario in which we would have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is again still possible. We have not hit the invalidation level for this higher time frame possibility of having this as an A, B, and C. This is where we could be fitting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure. However, again, there is scenarios in which we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So we can't really rule that out either. So if this is the start of something, then we would have to actually see a way bigger pullback higher than the current that we have here. I think the 38.2 would be, again, the minimum we want to see, around 87 cents for Cardano. From these lows, we would have to get some kind of move up higher, and this is what I got for this count. Overall, I would think that this is a 5-way move into wave 1 here. Then we would have A, B, and C wave here. This B wave did not get to the 1.618 retracement of this A wave, so that is valid. The C wave here gets to the 1-to-1 extension of this A wave here, so it looks pretty good. Now again, this wave C is very close to invalidation, but from here on out we could be looking at another impulse wave higher. Now this definitely feels and looks kind of impulsive, so I feel like we could be having this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, possibly 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5. And this would be the area we would want to be looking at. Are we getting divergences between the 3rd and the 5th here on price, and confirming that we could have a 5-way move here? If we do, we can take a short position and look for another long position somewhere around here. Now that area definitely would be something here, I feel like, Let's take a look at non-Elliott Wave stuff. Maybe these dailies that we have here around 47 cents, but again, we don't know yet where this is going to be topping out. So looking at something like the 0.5 Angola pocket for retracements and some kind of confluence around those would be definitely the best ideas. But again, we don't know where that this possible structure ends. So yeah, it is not really worth it to look for targets as of yet. But yeah, that is that scenario. Now, one of the other higher time frame scenarios is the fact that both of these scenarios that I showed you gives invalidations at one of these lows here. So if the price heads down, I have no explanation for those on these two counts. So that's why I had to create one that would fit the idea that we are going to be taking out these current lows. And this is what it looks like. Instead of the WXY that I showed you on the first count, having it here, we would move it like so. Now this makes a bit more sense on RSI as well, because again, this is the highest RSI. It was taken out, or it took out the previous X wave here on RSI as well, giving us that continuation divergence to the downside. Now, for this count to be happening, there is a possibility in which we are continuing this as a treating this as a 5-way move. Now, I think on one of the structures, yeah, this one, we had this whole thing as a 5-way move and it ended down here. So it is also possible that we have it here. So let's take a look at the retracement here for that possible B wave. Now, we don't tag the 38.2 here on logarithmic scale and definitely not on arithmetic scale. So it is not my preference, it is not the best looking structure, to be honest. Whether it is here or not, or even here, having this as the small. But in time, if we are looking at this and saying, okay, this is the connector that is going to be leading us to the downside, it is looking very, very unlikely to me, because this is so small compared to any of these larger structures. So I feel like we have to be saying that we have an A wave here, and we just don't see the previous wave structure well. This can't be a third wave because it is smaller than this fifth and this first. So I feel like we might need to have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, something like that, to make any sense of that whole thing, and have this as some kind of 3-way move here, ending at these highs, as we mentioned on the other count, or as I mentioned on the other count, where we had this as an ABC truncated structure. And then we again have this as a 1, 2 instead, expecting to break these lows. Now the invalidation for this idea would be around these highs of this wave B, at which again we can't go there because again wave 1 here, this is where we have the wave 1 starting. So around the 0.6 cents would be the invalidation of this whole thing. But I feel like those are the scenarios that I'm tracking at this very moment. Looking for long setups if this turns out to be a 5-way move, and looking for short setups if this is indeed a 3-way move, and we have that as a possibility. Now, because this is indeed a 5-way move down for sure, well, not for sure, but it definitely looks like it, these would be the areas I would be looking for short setups. This here, however, again, as mentioned, definitely needs to go to the 1.618 here before we can take more ideas on the long side. At the moment, we did not hit that yet, and that would be right around the 0.5. Now, this structure here, we did go through very fast, so it doesn't really have much of resistance, so we definitely can shoot up very fast here. Now, but yeah, this is not really good looking as of yet for that wave 2 that we would be expecting, because again it is so short in time. Let's take a look at that as well while we're here. Let's take a look at the 0.382. Okay, we hit the 0.382, so the minimum basically has been reached. So if we are again hitting the 0.5 here, I would be looking into possible short setups here as well. But yeah, this should be not that big of a position size. Again, the invalidation is all the way up here. Of course, we can be setting our stops right here. Basically, we have some kind of resistance here, golden pocket, and let's see if we have anything else. Naked point of control right around these monthly, but nothing else really. So it doesn't have too much support on anything, unfortunately. We can of course take a look at this volume still here. Yeah, it doesn't really offer too much to us at the moment. Oh well, we'll see how it turns out. And just if you want to be shorting, just look out these wave structures inside here on shorter time frame and see if there is a possibility for shorting setup. But that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover on ADA at this very moment. If you made it this far into the video, I would appreciate the likes. Link to my free Discord server in the description below. And for now, I thank you for watching and hope you have an amazing rest of your day. See you in the next video. Bye bye.